Hi guys, and welcome to my channel Space. So guys, this is the second video of the Angular series, and in this video we'll be looking into route guards. In an interview, you may get a question, say like, "What is route guard and what are its purpose?" So a simple answer to this is route guard is an injectable which, when given to a route, a developer can control a user navigation. In this video, we'll be actually looking into two route guards, which is CanActivate and CanDeactivate. CanActivate is the one which we will be using when we want as few conditions to be satisfied for the user to access a route. For example, a dashboard need to be accessed only after the user is authenticated. Unless and until he is authenticated, he will be rerouted to the login page. And CanDeactivate, on the other hand, is used when we want to restrict a user movement to another router. Say like if he has any unsaved data or a form value, we will be actually telling the user, just wait, just save your data and then you can leave. That's the situation when we'll be using CanDeactivate. Let's go into our application and implement these changes in our application. And I have made some UI changes to suit this purpose, so I'll just give an intro into that. So currently our application has an intro page wherein which we can give a name, say hi, and press enter. It will go into a dashboard wherein which you will be having a checkbox to allow your logout and a logout button, which when pressed will go back into the intro page. So in order to implement our route cards, let's work on two scenarios. The first one will be only a valid user must go into the dashboard. That means a refresh done in dashboard should redirect the user back to the intro page. And the second situation is when I check allow logout, only at that time a user will be able to log out and go back to intro page. So in our first situation, we'll be using CanActivate, and in our second situation, we'll be using CanDeactivate. Now let's go in and implement our first scenario, that is to implement CanActivate. So in order to have a guard implemented, we can use command with Angular CLI ng generate service guards. So we have our route guard implemented, and so in this file, let's put implement scan active, uh, and then we will actually take in the router as well. So right now, let's create a service layer using Angular CLI. This is actually to maintain our user data, like the name and all, for auth service to work properly. In this service layer, we'll be actually creating an get user authentication function. For the time being, I'll just return it as true. And let's go in and take this in our auth guard. Now in our auth guard, we actually need a can activate method. So let's create one, and I will actually place in values for the false method, like to redirect it to intro, return false, and router dot navigate to intro. Yep. Coming to our service layer, we need to take in our user data. So we already have a get authenticate method over here, returning true. Now I will create a private variable for storing the user data, and in our get authenticate method, let's give something meaningful. We'll check the object keys and all, and then we'll create a set user data to actually populate our user info, and we have it. Okay. So coming back to our component, you'll actually have to set our user info from here itself. So let's take in as a variable. Then we will go into our submit method. Yes, we have it. And in our submit method, if the form is valid, we'll actually set our user data. And coming to our guard, we will actually check the condition if the user is authenticated. So let's add the condition. If user is authenticated, I will return it as true. If it is not, I will place an else situation and will take those conditions written below and place it inside our else situation. So we have the condition implemented. Now let's go in and check. If I just give a text hi and plus enter, then we will actually go into dashboard. If I refresh it, still staying in dashboard. So that's something which is missing. We haven't added our auth guard into the router. So let's add it. In our router, just give CanActivate, and inside a square bracket we'll be actually giving our auth guard. So now it has to work. Let's repeat it, and when we refresh it, it's going back to intro. So our auth guard is working right now. Now let's see how it is working. Let's open our developer console and let's see. So when I press enter, what happens is like it will go inside our auth guard, check if it is authenticated. If it is, it will return true, else it will return false. So right now it's authenticated because it has our user data. So right now it is going to our dashboard component, and when we refresh it, what happens is like a new service layer will be generated. So when we check our authenticate method, it will be simply having an object, an empty object. So it will return false. Right now, this will actually be suitable for our else scenario, which will redirect to our intro page. So now let's go in and check in our deactivate scenario. So in this, we will be actually creating another auth guard for the deactivate situation inside our guards, and in that I'll give implements can deactivate, and like in CanActivate, I will have to place a public function can deactivate, and the first parameter of that function will be the component on which I have to implement this can deactivate situation, and we'll be placing the component next to can deactivate as the reference as well. And inside my component, I actually have to have this allow navigation to be available for the if condition and all. So I'll first of all make it public and remove the underscore, and will okay, and then I have to take it inside my auth guard. Yes, it's done. And in my router as well, can deactivate, it will be an array, and yes, I placed it. And now let's check the output. Just give hi, submit, log out. It will not. Oh, there's an issue. Do you know why? Because I already placed it as true. I have to place it as false because the checkbox is not checked at the beginning. Now let's check again. Hi, then submit, log out. It will come and check. It is false. so it should not be allowed. Now I'll check the checkbox. Now log out. It will come here. Now it's true because that will toggle my boolean value. And now I got redirected to intro page. So now it's working. I hope you guys actually liked my video. Do stay tuned because I'll be working on other route cards as well. And so please like the video and subscribe to my channel. See you guys. Take care.